deaf. I have no voice. I used to believe that only blacks were deaf. Today, I'm fighting for the rights of the deaf. My name is Celso Magumbe, and I live in Maputo, Mozambique. Being deaf is like a life surrounded by barriers. Society imposes these barriers on us, but I'm not giving up. I'm fighting against these barriers to overcome them. I want to change things. This is what I want. This is my main goal. I don't care much about food. I'm not even thinking of marriage. The most important thing for me, my main concern, is education for the deaf. When we achieve this, I'll be satisfied, and only then will I be able to think about marriage. I don't have time to get married. I only have time to carry on the fight. When I was a child, I thought I was the only deaf person in the world. Now I know there are many of us. With our friends, we created a deaf youth group. The group is working towards becoming an association, the Deaf Association of Mozambique, a legal organization that will allow us to lobby more effectively for our rights. We also organized a theater group and worked together to create new plays. Here, I play the role of a man who has a relationship with a girl. The girl gets pregnant, and the man wants nothing to do with her anymore. He shirks his responsibilities. These problems do not affect deaf people only. They also affect hearing people. We have often used theater to transmit information. For example, during the cholera epidemic, we used theater to inform people. Our world is a silent one. That's how it is, and it won't change. We live together in our world. We do theater in our own language. Mozambique is a poor country. Here, half the so-called normal children don't go to school because there aren't enough. So imagine the situation facing deaf kids. Why would we pay attention to the deaf when so many other things need to be resolved first? We're not a priority. Obviously, no one will do anything if we don't move first. We just organized our first street demonstration. We did it to attract attention to our problems. It was our way to shout for equality. The demonstration was a success, and we lobbied those in power to get rid of the barriers that hurt us. We asked for sign language in school. If they keep ignoring us, it will only increase our determination to continue demonstrating. I was not born deaf. I lost my hearing due to illness when I was a little child.
He had meningitis when he was 13 months old. He was perfectly healthy when he was born. Then he had a problem with his leg, which is still paralyzed.
Deixou de ter ação.
Then the fever started. He had to take antibiotics every 6 hours. The doctors told me the antibiotics caused his deafness.
Fiquei triste. Chorava todos os dias.
I was sad. I cried every day. But later, when I went to the hospital, I saw things that were much worse. Some children were suffering far more than my son.
Daí, olha, confirmei.
I finally got better, but I couldn't hear anymore. My mother tried to talk to me, but I didn't respond. That was when I thought I was the only deaf person in the world. My sisters went to school while I stayed at home, doing nothing, unable to develop my abilities. I was very frustrated. One day, my mother took me to a school where there were other deaf children, like me, so I could play with them. To communicate among ourselves, we used gestures. For a deaf person, this is a natural reflex. It was not quite sign language yet. Gestures are the stage before sign language. But in class, the school imposed the oral method. The oral method is based on saying a word and making the deaf person repeat this word. This takes a lot of time, and we easily forget because we don't understand the meaning of the word. We attempt to imitate what is said to us.
Gola.
It takes us 2 years to advance 1 grade in school. They don't acknowledge that our mother tongue is sign language. They force us to speak. It's all useless because we will never have a perfect voice. But even without a voice, we can express ourselves. At school, I made a friend, Fernando. He's my best friend. Since the system is not changing, we decided to teach sign language to the children ourselves. We don't have many resources, but it's better than doing nothing. When we speak sign language in the street, people often laugh at us. It's hard to change people's mentalities. There are still many hearing people who are inconsiderate to us. I ask myself the question, why? Yet I still get no answers. Why do they treat us like that? After all, I'm a person too, just like them. When I finished school, I still didn't know much about the outside world. I felt isolated. I knew I wasn't the only deaf person in the world, but I thought deafness only affected blacks. In 1992, I met a volunteer worker from Finland.
I tried to explain them that there are deaf people in the whole world. They can be white, there are deaf people in China, and there are deaf people.
That opened my eyes. So white people could be deaf too, not just blacks in Africa. When I realized that, my whole life changed. My head was full of ideas. I went home, but I couldn't sleep. I spent the whole time thinking.
I think that Celso is a leader. He is very special because he is not very well educated because of the situation here at school. Somebody could think that he can't be a leader. But Celso has his language, and he said that I have rights. Also the deaf people have human rights. And I think that also everybody who meets Celso believes it. He is a very charismatic person. Sometimes I used to say when Celso is dealing with people, when he is signing, also the stones can understand.
We love dancing. We can follow the music if it's very strong. We feel the bass notes in our bodies. We feel the vibrations in our chest and follow the rhythm. In Africa, the city and the countryside are two different worlds, and that's also true for the deaf. countryside, deaf children are more isolated than in the city. Parents think their children don't respond when spoken to because they think they're stupid. So deaf kids are treated like idiots, sometimes all their lives. We go to the countryside to explain what deaf people are like and how they must be treated. Above all, to make people understand that a deaf child has the same rights as any other child. That makes me sad. It's painful for me. The first thing I notice is that this girl doesn't have good communication with her own family. I told the mother that she has to learn sign language to communicate with her daughter. Sign language will also help the girl develop her own autonomy. Later, this will enable her to communicate with other deaf people and, above all, to get an education. This child needs to be heard to feel confident.